And now being 1 o'clock, I hereby call the November 17th, 2025 meeting of the Plympton Board of Selectmen to order. This meeting is being recorded for public viewing by Area 58. The recording is not considered an official record of the board. The approved minutes of the meeting will be served as the official record of the proceedings. Our first agenda item this afternoon will be the tax classification hearing, but
do you want to read?
We might want to move that over.
The intro.
Okay.
Yeah, I would read the intro while we wait for them.
Okay, as required by Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 56, the Town of Plympton Board of Selectmen will hold a fiscal year 2026 property tax classification hearing. During the hearing, the Board of Assessors shall provide all information relevant to making such determination and the fiscal effect of the available alternatives. Based on information provided, the Board of Selectmen shall adopt a residential factor to be used by the Board of Assessors to determine the percentages of the FY 2026 tax levy to be borne by each class of taxable real and personal property. The public hearing requires a vote by the Board of Selectmen for allocation of property tax classification.
Sorry, I needed a clarification. Sorry to interrupt.
At this time, the assessors are supposed to be coming in to provide information and recommendation as they do every year, and they will work through the motion to vote as we are in the hearing.
Hi.
Hello.
Here.
Do you want to get started, or are they presenting?
There's like walking in.
Yeah, you can get started.
All right, so on November 17th, today, the Board of Assessors unanimously voted to recommend a factor of 1, having the residential, commercial, industrial, and personal properties assessed at the same tax rate. This was recommended because the town of Plympton has just under 25% of commercial, industrial, and personal properties. Therefore, a split rate is not recommended. And you can see the percentage share of the levy for the residential, commercial, industrial, and personal property. I kind of gave you a little diagram of it. And then also I gave you a diagram of the assessed values for fiscal 26. They did go up, however. And this increase is based on fair market value, 100% fair market value. We did a little analysis of sales from 23, 24, 25, and that's what we got. So the sales are just booming, the prices of houses, and that has to do with our assessed value. I also gave you an example of a shift rate. If we shifted the rate from, our tax rate looks like it's going down 63 cents, so if we shifted it from 15.26, and then I gave you like examples of each shift. So what it would do to commercial, industrial, personal properties, how much it would increase those tax rates. I also gave you a little diagram of the new growth. This was unexpected growth. I didn't think it was going to be this high on personal property. Our utilities that were reported from the Department of Revenue gave us like over $8 million in value. So our new growth this year is $232,625. I believe last year it was like 125 maybe. So this was an unexpected increase. Next, we have the top 5 taxpayers in Plympton. You can see Cisco's our big one, Eversource Energy, Brook Street, Plympton, Solar One. Cisco is personal property, and then the Light Control Corporation. And then this was what you have to vote on. The Board of Assessors also recommended to not adopt the following. The open space discount, this is for land that's not developed, excluding chapter land, permanent conservation, restricted land, and income-producing parcels. The town is not protected by a lien, and there is no penalty for the change of use. Plympton does not have any parcels that are classified open space. Residential exemption, there's only 18 cities and towns in Massachusetts that have adopted this residential exemption. These cities and towns have a high second-rate home and rental population, and are usually resort communities. There's no second homes in Plympton. And then the small commercial exemption, there are only 14 communities statewide that have adopted this small commercial exemption. They have a much higher percentage of commercial properties. Plympton has 11.7% properties classified as commercial. And if we adopted the property is not, if the property is not owner occupied, the tax benefit goes to the property owner and not the small business owner or the tenant. Plympton has already adopted the exemption of personal property businesses valued for $2,000 or less. So the Board of Assessors are recommending that you vote no to the above exemptions and in favor of a factor of 1, which means the residential and commercial industrial properties, personal properties are taxed at the same rate for fiscal '26. Thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned that one of the reasons for the reason for the recommendation of going the one rate is because we are less than 25% commercial, industrial, and personal property. At what point, what's the magic number?
Well, you can see that, like, I think 35 maybe. Other towns, there's not a whole lot of towns that split the rate, they're like the big towns. But Cisco is our biggest, that you would be hitting them the most, you know what I mean? So if you weighed it, like, if you overvalued them and gave them this huge tax bill just to reduce us, the residential,
Mm-hmm.
then you found maintenance every year. So we could
They do
split it
anyway.
that way. Probably,
Mm.
my opinion anyway.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
It's big cities that really split the rate.
All right. I make a motion to take a vote, as far as a yes or no vote, to vote either for or against the above exemptions in favor of factor of 1.
Do them separately, or-
We should do them.
You can do them, you don't have to do each exemption separately.
Okay.
Do you want to do like one,
One motion
One
for all
blanket
three?
for all three.
yeah.
Okay, I make a motion for the open space discount, residential exemption, small commercial exemption, for a vote either yes or no in regards to the above exemptions, to go in favor of a factor of 1. Do I have a second for that vote?
Is the motion to vote yes or no?
Yes. So
We
everybody
just
do the
vote for
motion? Just vote.
residential.
You can just vote, so I would do, maybe just do one motion then, like a motion to vote no
For all three, right. No,
for all
accept the
3
no.
exemptions, but in favor of the factor of 1.
Okay. So I strike the previous motion, and I'm going to make a motion in favor of a vote for no for the 3 exemptions, and to vote in favor of the factor of 1. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. It's one of the
A
reasons why
lot of
we're here.
like double
Could I
negatives.
ask you to sign that paper? I'm just gonna scan it in and I'll put it into a gateway file.
Can you get me
I
a-
thought I gave you the one with the little flag on it.
You did,
Thank you.
yes, I apologize. Will you, get me a copy of that when it's done?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Down here? Oh, yeah, so it's just sign here?
It's just from my files, just to put into the, but I'll give you a copy anyway.
Yeah, you can both sign.
Okay.
Thank
Doesn't
you.
really matter. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
All right. Moving on to our next agenda item would be the liquor, common victualler, and range license renewals, which we'll pass over.
Excuse me,
You
will we
have
have to
any?
close the hearing?
That was
August.
closed.
Okay, I'm
Yeah, it wasn't like, it was, yeah, I mean, we can do one.
Okay, very simple. I make a motion to close the hearing on the assessor's hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think Bree has 2 licenses ready.
I do. So we have Artie Corporation, which is the gas station for their liquor, that's just beer and wine, and then full liquor is for the Plympton Convenience.
Okay.
Okay?
And for Class 2, Class 3, and scrap license renewals for 2026.
We don't have any as of yet, but I do know that Mr. Sides and I spoke regarding a couple of, I'll be in touch with one of the businesses, but there is one
There's one that I
condition,
questioned. Yeah, I questioned the wording on one of the licenses.
and I think it should be amended.
Okay, we can handle that then when they turn in the renewal.
Do you want to do it at that time? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to make a motion to approve the aforementioned liquor licenses for 2026? If you do that, I'd recommend that you also note that it's with all the same standing conditions that were on the previously granted licenses.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the said licenses as mentioned, and also with all the previous conditions and regulations as priorly established. Do I have a second? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. You'll have paperwork to sign later. When I get them all, they go to the ABCC, and it's a packet, so.
Excellent. Thank you.
One more.
Okay, and the next is to have a nomination for the Inspector of Animals, Sonia Silva, from January 1st of 2026 to April 30th of 2026. And make a motion to nominate Ms. Sonia Silva as Inspector of Animals effective January 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. So Brian's retiring now.
And you have paperwork for us, Bree, for that?
Liz and I will fill out those nomination papers when they come in to do the amendment to them,
Excellent.
and then all you have to do is just, I'll go ahead and sign it. Liz,
They'll
maybe
come
Bill
from the
just sign.
state.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And warrants paid?
None.
Okay. That was easy.
Sick
Fair
and
enough.
easy.
Okay, and
Some money this week.
fair enough. We like that. Okay, correspondence.
In correspondence, we have letters from the Plympton Police Association, Local 276, the Police Department Command Staff, and an email from the Police Chief regarding concerns pertaining to the Board of Selectmen Chairman. Those letters and the email referenced here are public records, so copies will be kept on file in the Selectmen's office and are available should people want to request copies. And concluding open session today, one of the purposes of our executive session is to discuss the letters, the email, and to consider responding to those. And if there is an official response to those, that too would become public record and the subject of correspondence at an upcoming meeting.
Okay. Any other?
So I don't have anything else in correspondence. As far as just general updates, the state has sent us a follow-up information request for the Green Communities Grant that we had applied for. This is for weatherization in the attic space at this building. So I'm hopeful that that's a good sign, that they wanted further information. We also have made a little bit of headway on the front door project. The Town Properties Committee has been put in touch with the architect. So they're trying to figure out, you know, what's been spent so far, where is the architect at with the plans and specifications. So more to come on that by way of an update from them on that. I had a follow-up request from DEP to send, I had applied, if you recall, to DEP for some grant funding in order to help us out a little bit with the cost for the public water supply. They did send a follow-up request for information, so I was asked to forward our manganese test results, along with the initial application that was largely filled out by our OPM on the public water supply project. I was asked to forward that to another person within their organization. So I'm hopeful that that's making its way through their chain of command, and that hopefully we're successful with that.
Is that the one you mentioned a couple months ago for water security or something?
No,
Different
this
one?
is a different one. But it might help us out as far as like mitigating some of the costs, because at last check, we won't have enough in ARPA funding to cover the full cost of that project, so we're gonna be looking for supplemental funding. And then I was also going to repost on social media as far as boards and committees that are appointed by BOS with openings. And to that point, I thought it might be helpful today if we just clarify the process a little bit. So my plan was to put on social media where we have some openings available and encourage people who are interested to email Bridgette with an email of interest with their resume. And for some of the positions, depending on how many seats are available or what the nature of it is, I think you might want to reserve the right to interview people or ask a few questions, depending on what kind of feedback we get and level of interest. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate that process as we're moving forward.
Are you going to put in the language there that there may be an interview process as well?
I think I should,
you should, because
just
it's
that
just a
way
public
people
disclosure.
are all clear on what the expectations are.
Excellent.
And that's all I have.
Okay, minutes for November 5th.
I did have them.
Okay, we will pass over those minutes.
Thank you. You will.
Any financial reporting or updates?
So just today, I received from the town accountant a year-to-date budget report. We're roughly 38% of the way through the fiscal year. The budget lines that were identified as being beyond that percentage as far as amounts spent. The assessor's expense line, this was due to upfront expenses, so there's no issue here. Legal expenses is going to end up in a significant deficit. We're already 89% spent. Appeals board they've already expended their budget, but they get such a small figure, and it's all been spent on like mailings. So that's not gonna be like anything major as far as figuring that out, but I think that we need to go over with them a different process possibly for the certified mailings so that the town isn't incurring some of the cost. Perhaps some of that cost could be passed on to applicants. Fire department expenses and fire department medical supplies are at 48% and 44% respectively as far as spent. The town accountant has reached out to the fire chief today for an update on that. Building department clerical line is running a little bit over, so she was contacting them for an update. The group health line is ahead of schedule. It's not a problem right now because December has already been paid. We're like a month ahead when we make those payments. However, there is a large increase coming that was not foreseen prior to the plans for seniors, roughly an 11% increase. So it may cause a problem for us at the end of the fiscal year. We need to keep an eye on that one. And then the Medicare line is trending a little ahead of schedule, but the treasurer is looking at that and doesn't foresee a major issue at this time.
Okay, so we're on to dates to remember. The next scheduled regular open meetings for the Board of Selectmen, which is meetings are subject to change. It would be December 1st and December 15th, both at 2 PM at this point, unless things change in between, and it will be posted in a duly fashion before the actual meetings come out. Anything else, Mr. Sides?
No, I just wanted to say a public thank you to the various groups and towns that kind of got together over the past couple of weeks with all the different concerns regarding food insecurity and whatnot. I know different groups in town, really stepped up, and whether it was contributing to the food pantry or making the food pantry available to more people, or I know the church had a couple of free spaghetti dinners for anybody that was come. I believe Keelan went and helped out, so thank you for that. And I think it's just, it's why we live in a small town, right? We take care of each other when we need to, so I just wanted to publicly acknowledge that.
I'm going to further that by saying I'm also very encouraged by people who are stepping up to be part of the community as far as committees and for boards and so forth, which is good to see as well. So it's definitely a lot of interest, and people are starting to step up, and we just want to have that process, as we discussed with Mrs. Denny had mentioned, in a very professional manner, and having resumes and having people do a formal thing to go through it and so forth. So very encouraged to see everybody starting to step up and be involved, and that's how our town has always survived and done what it's done to make it the unique town that it is. Okay, at this moment, we will be now adjourning the open session and going into executive session, and we will not be returning to open session. So I make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21, lowercase a, Purpose 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel, i.e. police sergeants, town accountant, and for Purpose 1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. And for Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation regarding disputes with Cape Cod Builders Incorporated concerning the Town Hall roof replacement project, if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the town's litigating position, and the chair so declares, and I do so declare. Can I have a roll call vote? Mr. Sides?
You got
Oh,
to
Should get a
second it first, yeah.
Second it. Okay, so we have a second, and roll call vote. Mr. Sides?
Yes.
Mr. Smith? Yes. And we are adjourned.